We've been talking to the market for a while now about separating our two asset classes, the surface reclamation and also the underground. So what we're really looking for is positioning those two assets for two different investor types and seeing if, to see if we can get some value for our holding in Blyvoor now that our strategic focus has really moved across to surface reclamation. We've specifically delayed the decision on where we want to go with the underground operations to give Blyvoor a chance to really reposition itself. 18 months ago it was a mine in distress and has been contributing towards the bottom line consistently now for the last 18 months. So now's the time really for us to get what I believe fair value for our investment in the mine. The type of shareholder that we are looking for, the type of investor rather that we are looking for, would therefore be somebody to maintain the current momentum and maybe accelerate the momentum to take the mine to its full potential. I need to emphasize we're not throwing anything overboard here, so if we don't find the right seller, then there won't be a transaction. 2 years ago, with the previous round of wage negotiations, we had a month-long strike, and that almost led to the closure of Blyvoor. It went into judicial management at the time. So I think the message that we want to send out there, and we've in fact been canvassing the unions in that regard, is to point out to them just how vulnerable Blyvoor would be to any sort of interruption at this stage of production from underground, and that if it's going to be a prolonged strike, then it may very well not recover from that strike. There could be regional implications, and I think what we as a company would want to do is definitely engage with other stakeholders, with some of the other companies in the area. I think we are definitely going to have to collectively look at the risk associated with a premature closing, or it's more of an uncontrolled closure, I would suggest. So that's definitely something I think that we would debate at a forum comprised of some of the other corporations as well, other mining corporations as well, just to make sure that we tick all the boxes. We don't want to be in a situation where we create unforeseen consequences for some of our neighbours, which could have been anticipated had we just addressed the risk carefully up front. And one needs to consider where capital is coming from at this stage, who's coming up with the most capital for the development of mineral resources. And I think the bulk of that is still very much from North America. And I don't foresee North Americans risking long-term money in a jurisdiction where we haven't unequivocally dealt with issues around security of tenure. So we probably have to just go through the debate that is currently lying in the wait around nationalization and so forth. I think we need to also just be a little bit more certain as to what sort of electricity generating capacity we're going to have, where the labour laws are going to take us, and so forth and so forth. And I think that most of these things are probably going to take the better part of at least 4 to 5 years before we have the sort of certainty that will be adequate for offshore money to come into the country on a long-term basis.